Connor, tell me a bit more about how once we found excellence
Yeah.
or what we want to achieve as excellent, how we nurture it within our business.
So again, as they were saying, around this critical success factors and the having these must-win battles, well, where do we see this playing out? So if you don't have it already, there should be some kind of daily management system, or we would call it a tiered management system, depending on the size of the reach or the scale of the organization. There should be an appropriate eye on performance, eye and ear on performance at the right level of the organization, so at senior leadership level, at junior leadership level, supervisory level, and at operator level, typically. And that this system would respond to the voice of the process, so how the process is performing, and whether there's, if we're performing optimally or suboptimally. So we'd have mechanisms at operator level, like short interval control, to identify if we're running a line, what's happening or what's the problem with that line in terms of its effectiveness or its quality and so on. So at operator level, then we should be having some level of review of the performance of the line, and then at floor level, we should be reviewing performance at the right beat, the performance of the floor, and then you'd have a multi or a cross-functional view of performance. So how are the teams that support the work performing? So your maintenance teams, your ancillary services that are coming. So it might be facilities, it might be your HR department, it might be finance, it might be different types, your warehouse, your inventory control, your procurement teams. So all of these should be working together to try and drive performance into the work. And we should be meeting about that at a regular cadence so that we can remove blockages and escalate things as required. Now, escalation is important to understand a little bit because we need to put rules around how we escalate and what is escalatable. So you need to define those things, because we could be escalating everything up and asking permission for everything, and then you're completely discommoding the authority of people who should be making decisions and pushing accountability into where those decisions should be made. So we would drive this level of accountability into all levels of the organization. So from a tiered management perspective, you need to define who sits at which level, what things get reported up, and more importantly, if something gets reported up for a decision, it might be a resourcing decision, it might be a financial decision, whatever it might be, make sure that that communication comes back down in a timely manner. We can get good at escalating because that feels normal. We're not so good at cascading the information back in a timely manner. So getting that right will be a key component to nurturing the excellence within.
That's brilliant.